Mythic Plus is difficult. I think we can all agree on that. Don't... Someone get her up, please. Please, someone get her up. Please. And sometimes it feels like you're constantly bashing your head and trying to improve, but you're still hard stuck on plus 12s. Your tank doesn't know the route, your DPS pulls random stuff, your healer randomly implodes. We all deal with all of those things, and sometimes it feels like we simply won't ever get better at the game. If you wanted to improve your skills and knowledge about the dungeons, or just the game in general, this is the video for you. I will name you 6 crucial tips that will help you improve incredibly fast, seeing results right after watching this video and applying them to your own gameplay. But these tips will also improve your skills over a longer period of time. Before we begin, I want to mention that at the time of this video's release, I am most likely live on twitch.tv/Varian or here on YouTube. So if you have any questions about this list, hop into chat right after you're done with the video and ask away. Alright, let's begin with tip number 1. Alright, now tip number 1 is basically just one requirement to improve in the game in general. You need to want it. If you simply watch this video and listen to my yap for a few minutes now, it won't really do anything for you and your skill in Mythic Plus if you don't want to actively change things. Know that improving takes time. Even though you will see quick changes with these tips, which I will guarantee you, mastering them will definitely take a while. You're never done improving. Even I myself am still learning, and I can guarantee you that even the top players like Kira, Gingy, even Max from Liquid is still learning the game in some way. There's always room for improvement, and there's always a way to get better in the game in some specific way. Now, the real first tip on this list is to learn your class in the first place. What I mean by that is to find out what defensives and utility abilities your spec brings and learn to use them correctly. Every class and spec has their utility and defensives. Rogues have blind, druids have intimidating roar, and pretty much every class nowadays has an interrupt ability, except maybe some healers. And we also see it plenty enough that people simply don't press these spells, or if they press it, do it at the wrong time or on bad/small pulls, wasting it for no apparent reason. But how do you find out when to press these buttons? Well, simply find someone else that is better than you on your class and spec and watch their streams and VODs. If you're a Brewmaster main, you can watch Shah, who I've learned a lot from. If you're a mage, check out Gingy. Find someone whose personality you like and watch them play your class in a way you never thought was possible. Analyze their gameplay to the T, and if you don't understand a specific thing they did or constantly do, ask them why they do it that way. None of these creators will point fingers and start laughing at you for not knowing things, so never be scared to ask. I also see tons of people trying to improve at everything at the same time. Their class, their spec, the dungeon pool, the boss mechanics, and I can guarantee you, this is just a recipe for disaster. Doing it like that will overwhelm you and lead to a quick burnout, so take everything slow and step by step. What I would recommend you is to learn your class and spec first before you try to learn every single mechanic in a dungeon. For that, I recommend you playing only one spec you currently want to improve at, and don't jump between your 5 alts you barely have knowledge about. Pick one for the time and learn that one first. Take the learning process step by step and start learning everything about your spec first. Their strengths, their weaknesses, cooldowns, etc. Learn all of these things until playing the class becomes second nature, and you can pretty much play it on autopilot, allowing you to now focus on everything regarding the dungeons. When you're done with the dungeon mechanics, find out how to min-max everything you now learned, and so on. There's also this one point that seemingly no one talks about, which is positioning. Try to improve your positioning with each single run. A general rule of thumb is that the DPS should never stand in front of the boss, or wherever the tank is currently standing. Obviously, if there's mechanics that require you to do so, don't start running away from the team and cause the group to die, but in general, always stay at the back of the boss. As a tank, for example, you should always try to face the mobs away from your group so they can hit them from the back, which prevents the mobs from blocking or parrying their abilities. Another big thing is to learn which damage profile you have. Are you a full AoE spec? Do you need the primary target to deal the maximum amount of damage? You can most likely find this out by watching other people do a run on your spec and seeing if they ever switch their targets around or they just stick to one mob. Knowing this information alone can improve your DPS by a good 20%, by the way. So make sure you know it at all times and with every single build you do. Tip number 3 is to constantly self-reflect. Yes, sometimes your hunter that died 10 times in a single run will be the main reason they got the key brick, but I can guarantee you that none of your team members, including you, played the run perfectly. Analyze your own gameplay and see what you could have done better. See what other reasons there were that could have led to depleting the key, for example. Was the damage output lower than usual? Did the tank take a bad route? Or did someone pull extra mobs by accident? Was the healer struggling to keep everyone alive? All of these points will cost you a lot of time on your keys without you even realizing it. I'm not telling you to now go out there and blame everyone else for these small mistakes, but to rather find out what you did wrong and improve on those things the next time you do this dungeon. Did you mess up a mechanic and died at an unfortunate time, requiring you to now run back for 20 seconds? Well, now you know and can prevent this mechanic from ever going through or killing you if it does. This is the most important point on this entire list, and the single best way to level up your gameplay constantly. Whenever I break a key, for whatever reason, I go back to my stream's VOD and literally check out live what I did wrong and what I can improve on. Even rank 1 players do that constantly with every one of their runs. If you don't self-reflect, there's no realistic way to improve yourself in any department of your life. So always make sure to look at your own gameplay if things go sideways. And even if you time a key, you should consider rewatching your gameplay, as I can guarantee you that even there you did some smaller mistakes that you maybe didn't even realize at the moment. Compare your damage rotation with someone else's. Compare your routing as a tank with someone who's better than you and see what you can improve on. Now, I'm not telling you to straight up copy some rank 1 routing, by the way, because that will break your key faster than you can imagine. But see what they do differently than you. As you might have guessed, the best way to analyze your own gameplay is to record it with the recording software of your choice, and literally just going back to it when you're done with the run. This is a tip that you will hear in every single competitive game, as it is the only one that is truly helpful for everyone. If you never know what you did wrong, you won't be able to improve on it the next time it happens, and you'll basically be stuck in an eternal loop of not knowing. Now, always keep in mind that your goal is never to play perfectly every single time or avoid playing terribly every single time, but to play consistently at a certain level every single time. You will always do mistakes, but you will also have moments where you think you're God. These things are just inevitable. Alright, now this tip number 4 kinda goes with the class learning thing, which is to study and learn your talent tree. There's so many abilities and talent nodes out there that will make your life a lot easier that you probably never even know existed. Shamans, for example, can opt into Poison Cleansing Totem in specific dungeons to help out their team. Knowing when to take which talent nodes and adjusting to your dungeon and your group comp is essential to learning your class and spec inside and out. Find out about specific and niche situations where certain nodes and spells will come in useful and make your life easier. You're in Pit of Sauron as a shaman? Take a Dispel. Your team will be eternally grateful. Some keys are genuinely untimable if your team doesn't adjust accordingly. Also, don't be scared to experiment around. Try different builds, see what works for you and what brings the most utility for the situation. You can also use add-ons that help you achieve that. Mythic Plus utility shows you which talent nodes you should take for each specific dungeon and which to maybe opt out of. Now, I'm not telling you to just blindly follow these add-ons, but to try to understand the reasoning on why they made these decisions. Click on every ability and read the reasoning behind opting in or out of the nodes shown to you and learn when and how to use them correctly. Alright, you've learned everything about your class and can now play them on autopilot. Perfect. Now it's time for you to learn about the season's dungeon pool. Which mob does what? Are there important spells that need to be kicked at all times? Are there mobs to avoid when pulling as a tank? This is the moment where we also should go back to the second tip, which is to learn how to play your defensives and utility abilities right. Know which mob to interrupt, or more specifically, which cast of the mob to kick. Some kicks are way more important than others, and knowing which casts have priority is key to having an easier time in the dungeon. Use line of sight to your advantage as well. There's a specific pull in Windrunner Spire where you pull 2 casters into one of these rooms, and if your team doesn't line of sight correctly, that one mob outside will just stay back and keep casting spells until someone dies. If the team knows how line of sight works, you will have a much easier time killing these packs that can get annoying like this much easier. And again, I can't mention this enough. Watch someone else who's better than you play the game and ask questions about specific pulls or dungeons in general if you don't understand something. Now, the last point is to improve your UI. What I mean by that is that playing with your basic UI is simply just bad. Your character is supposed to be the only target your eyes should be resting on most of the time. So putting everything as centered as possible to the middle of the screen will alleviate so much pressure from your eyes, and quickly after you will realize that you can see so much more than before. You will have every important information at your ready, and you will also be able to position yourself right, as you can just see everything you need to see at all times. I have a whole video about my UI, so if you want a clean UI that is usable by any class and spec, check out the video that's gonna pop up at the end of this one. And these are my tips to start improving in your Mythic Plus journey. If you want to check out my UI or find out about some neat hidden tricks in every M Plus dungeon, check this video out. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate a like on this video and if you subscribe to my channel. At the time of this video's release, I am also live, so if you have any more questions or want to see me deplete like 10 plus 17s in a row, check out my Twitch. Anyways, that's it from me. I wish you all a great rest of the day and I will see you in the next one.